Alright, so, for those who don't know, Mastodontosaurus is one of my favorite designs in the game. I think they couldn't have gotten a more accurate depiction of it, so I quite like it. So you'll probably imagine the look on my face when we were revealed that we were going to get Stomatosuchus. I'm quite happy to take a look at it. Stomatosuchus Mattel? Huh? What do you mean? Why are you playing with us like that? First you start over here with like the T-Rex, then you ruin the apexes, and then now this. Stop playing with me. Why, Savannah? Why? Why do you need to do this to us? Stats, abilities, combat potential, and then I'm giving it a review at the end. So I hope you stay tuned and stick around, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Taking a look at Stomatosuchus now, it's going to be coming onto the platform with almost 4,900 health, 1,700 damage, 111 speed, 20% armor, and 5% in crit and critical damage. The attack is pretty high, and it's going to be doing a lot of damage. And then the rest of the stats are also pretty above average, so I guess that's good. Anyway, we can take a look to see what it can do in Sector 2 with its abilities. Tiger from the future here, so ignore depressed Tiger from about a couple seconds ago. Apparently Stomatosuchus received somewhat of a shadow buff, so it got minor exploit encounter instead of minor wound encounter that you see on screen, and dazing vulnerable impact became a priority. So these were pretty decent buffs in my opinion. I think if anyone who was in the beta build who played Stomatosuchus will agree that this thing desperately needed some form of priority. We did recommend switching out that Fierce Devouring Rampage for like a shielded heavy rampage, something that is seen in Saurophaganax, or like a Fierce Group Instant Strike, just something that can allow Stomatosuchus to chip down the health of opponents. It is quite slow, so it won't be doing too many hits, but putting priority on Dazing Vulnerable Impact is a very good idea. Now, whether or not you agree with the one-turn cooldown is to be debated. However, aside from that, Stomatosuchus' kit looks pretty decent, and now I can actually put up a fight. But I just wanted to put that little disclaimer here because this video was recorded way before that shadow buff came out just a couple days ago. So we can head on over to Sector 3. So pretty much everything here on out is going to be me in the future talking, so mind you that the things are going to be a little bit inconsistent on the actual screen. This is what Stomatosuchus' stats looked like prior to the buff. As you can see, it's not the best. It really lacked having a priority. However, now it is able to do a lot more damage. For example, taking Distortus Rex down to like a third of its HP, or in some very, very rare cases, outright killing it. Having that prio on Daze Impact really helps it out because D-Rex benefits a lot from its counterattack. And it should be able to do good against some of the heavier hitters like Impelorex, Pataceratops, Aerospino, and what have you. So mind you that this is going to be slightly off as of the time of recording this video. So with that being said, we can head on over to Sector 4. With all that said and done, I don't think my overall rating on Stomatosuchus has changed too much since its initial release. I'm going to be giving it a 3.5 out of 5 in Synergy, 3 out of 5 in Head-to-Head, 4 out of 5 in Competitive, which could be debatable. I could see it being a 2.5 or 3 out of 5, a 3.5 out of 5 in Fun and Plug and Play, and then a 1.5 out of 5 in Adjustment Likelihood. I just don't think they're going to adjust this thing anytime soon. However, they might do it if they if they can squeeze a bit more money from this. And then for a boost profile, I'll give it 10, 18, 8, which gives you 10,000 health, 4,067 attack, and 129 speed. This just helps you against Distortus Rexes that might be a little bit faster in the 123, 125 category. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this very short review of Stomatosuchus. There's not really much to go about or review it with, per se. And them buffing it last minute really did screw up a lot, which is why this is coming out a little bit later than it should have. So I apologize for that. Anyway, with that being said, let me know what you guys think of Stomatosuchus. I will be having a upload on the new Cryolophosaurus that came out as well. And hopefully a Let's Play, because I've been trying to get that out for, a week and a half now, but it's been so hard because there's so many things going on. And there's a little bit of chaos behind the scenes. But I hope you guys enjoy this one. Sit back, relax, good luck on ladder, and enjoy the show. So I'm going to be continuing my World Cup rant because apparently you guys are coming more for that than the actual creature I'm trying to showcase itself. So I'm going to be going, or rather turning to Switzerland versus Argentina, the quarterfinals match of 2026. And going right off the bat, I knew this wasn't going to be easy for Switzerland. They were losing their best player, Monzambi, and I would have loved to see Monzambi have full health full health, I'm saying like this is a video game, at full strength and, good health against Argentina, because then I actually do think Switzerland would have had a chance. And Switzerland wasn't kind of imposing itself as a really good team, in my opinion. I don't know if you'd say top 10, I definitely argue like top 16, but top 10 seems like a little bit of a stretch, especially with the performance Mexico was giving out. And Switzerland did put up a surprising performance against Colombia, ending 4-3 in penalties. And I actually do think they probably would have cooked Argentina in penalties as well. Probably would have been a similar score. Probably would have been 4-3, maybe 3-3 or something until like a drawbreaker happens. But inexcusable first goal for Switzerland to concede. Within 10 minutes, I'm pretty sure it was McAllister that put a header into the back of the net. And from there, I was already thinking, yep, this is just going to go how we pretty much all expected it to. 10 minutes in, Argentina is just going to start defending. They're not going to let Switzerland anywhere near the post. Maybe they'll get one or two shots. At the very best, the end of the game is going to be 2-1, maybe 3-1 in Argentina's favor. And it's just going to be a complete stomp. And for the rest of the first half, that looked pretty much correct. Switzerland almost had a couple of shots go in. They have a world-class goalkeeper, though, so thankfully he was on his A game during this first half. For the most part, for whatever reason, until he let that 10-minute shot in, but I digress. For the first half, it just seemed like Switzerland should have conceded about 2 or 3 more goals. But no, going into second half, Switzerland was kind of all over Argentina. Like I said earlier, Switzerland was a team that seemed imposing. Again, they didn't have their best player, kind of wish they did. But Argentina was letting way too much pressure into their side. And Switzerland ended up getting a really good shot into the net. I think that was around the 57th or 60th minute where they got a beautiful goal in. And I was shocked. I was like, okay, maybe there's a chance for Switzerland. Until about 5 to 6 minutes later, when Briel Embolo decides to theatrically throw himself while Paredes is near him. And I don't know what was going on. From what I remember, because I haven't seen this match in a couple of weeks, but from what I remember, Paredes, fouled him, and then 3 seconds later, he decides to just throw himself. He just I think it's called a dive. I know some people call it a flop. I don't know if there's a difference, but correct me if I'm wrong. And he just decides to dive, and for whatever reason, the ref gives Paredes a yellow card. In my opinion, that should not have happened, but he then overturns the decision, and essentially what happens is if you give somebody a yellow card and you decide to overturn that action, you are now supposed to give that yellow card to the other player. Well, because Embolo was already on a yellow card, he gets a second yellow card, and because of that, he gets sent off. Now, apparently this is where the new rules FIFA implemented to stop or discourage diving kicks in, because VAR checks it out, and obviously it's a simulation, which is worth a yellow card, but apparently there was some controversy that came out just a couple days ago in a paper where that wasn't supposed to happen, and Embolo wasn't supposed to get sent off. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll leave the document down in the description below if you guys want to check that out, but apparently that wasn't supposed to happen. He did bring that all on himself, but it's just so nitpicky, I guess, because they've been so inconsistent with it prior. I'm pretty sure it was only used once before, and it wasn't used in this sort of fashion. But this ref was already questionable. I don't really, he struggles to get control of the games from what I've seen in him prior. So this wasn't too good. But, Embolo is shocked. The whole rest of the Switzerland team is shocked because this is so sudden. And I don't even think it crossed his mind that he could get sent off for this. But he does. And Switzerland at first seems to be shaky, but once they regroup about a few minutes later, they actually hold themselves quite well. And they actually get it way into extra time. I think it was like the 120th minute where they managed to get this game. But long story short, not all fairy tales have a happy ending, and Argentina manages to get 2 more shots into the back of their net, ending the game in 3-1. So, unfortunately, Switzerland didn't win, and I do think had it gone to penalties, they probably would have won in similar fashion to how Colombia went. But, my goodness, is this like a huge disappointment, because I was really hoping Switzerland would win. I was not rooting for Argentina this time around at all. But, Argentina is the master of the dark arts, and this game, what can I say? I will say in Argentina's defense, this wasn't a game where, the refs seemed to be on their side. It just kind of seemed like Switzerland was messing up one after another, and it kind of just led to their downfall. I don't know what it is with teams that face off against Argentina, aside from Cape Verde, who put up a class act performance. Egypt fumbled, and then Switzerland fumbled. I don't know, bro. Like, why are we doing this? Like, you guys Argentina could have been eliminated with Egypt. But no, they decide to throw at like 11 minutes left with a 2-0 lead. I'm sorry, if you do that, you are never allowed to be back into the World Cup with that kind of sell. But they did, and that's going to haunt Egypt and the entire national team for the rest of their lives. You are never going to get a chance like this ever again. Same with England. I'm sorry, if you have a 1-0 lead, why would you park the bus 30 minutes early? From there, you should be attacking even more. You should be putting more strikers on, you should be putting more wingers on, because pressure is the best defense. And from there, you can maybe get 2 or 3 more goals, because I do think in general, England was the better team, and they were going up against better opposition, for the most part. I think performance-wise, both England and Argentina had similar results, but team-wise, I think England was way more stronger. They had way better players, just better consistency overall. And Argentina was losing to teams they should have easily won against, but they didn't. And England was beating teams that they should have lost against. Yeah, I worded that right. But yeah, that match pissed me off. I don't know what Tuchel was thinking. Now, a lot of people are going to put the entirety of the blame on Tuchel. I will say, I think it's not just a him problem, it's also the players' issues as well. Because, Argentina goes into their matches with full certainty knowing they can win. They have such a huge winner's mentality, and that is something I got to give them praise for, even if I'm not rooting for them. But England, they seem to be going into matches with a I hope we can win mentality. And that really just goes, spreads throughout the team and doesn't give you the confidence you need. Now, again, confidence isn't everything. You still need to be skilled. But, having the constant thought in your mind of, oh, we're going to lose, does screw you up a little bit. And it just seemed like throughout this tournament, that's how England was carrying themselves. And it just seemed like a survival mindset versus a winner's mindset. And England should have won that match. I'm sorry, it should have been 2-0, maybe 2-1 at the very end. But no, it was 2-1 in Argentina's hand. And from there, we just got the most boring match ever with Spain versus Argentina. Now, I knew Spain was going to win, but I was still as nervous as ever throughout the entire match because I just knew something was going to happen. Argentina was going to get some sneaky header into the back of the net, and Spain was going to lose, and Argentina were going to become the new winners yet again. It was just oh my God, bro. But Spain ended up winning, and Argentina ended up getting humiliated. It made me feel better about France's defeat because France at least had some shots that looked like they were going to go in, where Mbappe kind of looked at his team and was like, fine, I'll do it myself, and got a couple of kicks. But they didn't because they got overwhelmed, and Argentina got more humiliated. But, yeah, that's kind of my little World Cup rant on Argentina. I guess I'll go more in-depth in probably my next video. talking about that yellow card and just Argentina's behavior as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of Stomatosuchus. Probably didn't even realize Stomatosuchus was in the background because it just can't fight at all. But comment down below. I'll probably upload my Cryolophosaurus video tomorrow. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.